Hello, it is Jamila McMallow, mindset coach for women executives and entrepreneurs. And today I am coming to you live to talk about a very interesting and important topic, and that is commitment. Um, Sometimes when we think of commitment, we can think of something that has us locked in, and it can maybe feel like it has this negative connotation. But commitment can also mean something very positive. It can mean, having a sense of safety or security, right? But I want to get into commitment by sharing a story with you, just to kind of illustrate how it can be, something that maybe you're not even aware of that actually is not as hard as you want to make it seem or appear to be. Now, I will say this. I've got my notes here on my phone. I normally like to use Post-it notes, but I'm being electronic today. So I'm just giving you that technology disclaimer. So just in case. But basically, when we think of being committed to something, it's something that we're loyal to, right? So I'm going to give you this example. Like after I had my daughter back in 2020, she's my third child. I was just kind of bloated all the time. I really wasn't feeling that great. And I hired a nutritionist, actually, Liat Nadler. If you're on Facebook or LinkedIn, look her up. She's the bomb. Liat, if you're watching this, tag yourself in the comments. But I hired her to help me figure out what was going on with my body. And she had me do a blood test, a food sensitivity test. And it revealed that I was sensitive to gluten, eggs, and almonds. And so it was like what I was eating every day. So as soon as I got those results back, I said, you know what? I need to figure out what I'm going to do about my sweets. See, I am in a very loving and committed relationship with sugar. Yes, sugar. It's delicious. I am unapologetically in a relationship with sugar. I'm committed to it. Okay. And so, for all your little health nuts out there, want to give you a little 2 cents about your sugar, don't comment below. I don't want to hear none of that because you're over there drinking your coffee, acting like that's going to save your life or whatever. So, let me have my cookies and be quiet. Now, because I'm committed to that relationship, what do you think was the first thing I did when I found out, oh man, I can't eat wheat, I can't eat eggs, I got promptly on Amazon Prime, okay, and I went to the Amazon Fresh section, right? Because when you're looking at things online, you can read the ingredients. And so I proceeded to find myself some gluten-free, vegan, as in it just didn't have, eggs in it, and didn't have almond flour cookies, okay, and muffins. And I was like, okay, that was a close call. Oh, and some pancakes too. It's because I'm like, hey, come on. I get it. I can't eat those foods anymore, no problem, but I'm going to promptly find a replacement, something that's going to be satisfying. Why? Because I'm committed to my sweet tooth. Now, do you think I agonized over that decision? Do you think I was like, oh man, I don't know if I really want to? No, I said, I can't eat nothing I'm currently eating that's sweet that I like. I got to replace it immediately. Why? Because at the end of the day, caring for toddlers, I like to sit down, eat something sweet, and watch TV and vegetate for a little bit. That's my life. That's my little guilty pleasure, you could call it. So that's what I do. And I'm committed to that. And so I was committed to finding the solution to that. Okay. So sometimes we can think of commitment as being something hard or something, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to come up with some new way of doing something. We are all committed to a great many things. So really think about, what am I committed to? Now, of course, yes, I am happily committed to my relationship with God, to my relationship with my husband, to my children, to my family, to my friends, etc. Right? I'm sure you agree. Same thing is true of you. But we also are committed to some other things, like I shared and confessed. My relationship with sugar. So really think about, what are you committed to that you never even really considered to be a commitment? Okay. Because when you desire something, Like I desired that satisfactory sweet tooth. Okay. It wasn't hard for me to find a way to make that work. It wasn't hard for me to find the time to seek out the solution, to sit there and research the ingredients. Didn't take any, it was no problem at all. Please believe me. I was happy to do it. And so when we desire something, being committed to it, it's not an issue. Okay. But now here's the flip side of that. Sometimes we can also be committed to things that do not serve us. And typically, these are things like our personal stories, our excuses, the things that we tell ourselves that keep us from actually making a real change or transformation in a way of being that is not serving us. I'll give you another personal example. We're not going to take no scam calls right now. So I, like I said, have toddlers, and my daughter was born in 2020. As you all know, that was the pandemic year. You know, everybody was isolated, all these things. So it has been me, and my son was 2.5 when she was born. So it has been me, because my husband works full time outside the home, and them, you know, this whole time. And as you know, if you have small children, that's a lot. It's a lot. And to not be able to have any support, because, you know, my parents are older and they lived out of state. They wasn't about to be getting on no planes and flying when there wasn't no vaccinations and nothing like that. So all this time, you know, the primary caregiving has been on me, even though in my husband's home, you know, he's very hands-on, etc. The bulk of the responsibility has been on me. And you get through that newborn phase, right? And my personal feeling is that all women need to stop trying to do anything before your baby is 5 or 6 months old. Give yourself a break. Please stop trying to live your life and surrender to the fact that your body has just done the greatest thing it's ever going to do, that you have a brand new life who is completely dependent on you and is helpless. And this is a whole new relationship and way of being that you just need to stop and just be totally and completely absorbed in that in whatever way is healthy and good for you. But I give myself that space. I did it. That's what I do. And so I gave myself that space, right? When I had my daughter, but she wasn't the only one. So I had a 2.5-year-old. So it wasn't like I could just, you know, do that like I did when it was just him alone. So I say all this long-winded story to say that I was not making myself and my needs a priority. I was not setting aside time in my day specifically for me. I was not focused on consistently the things that I needed to be doing. There were stretches of time when I was, right? But it was not like, for example, I was not getting up early in the morning to do it or at any specified time of the day. I was trying to like cram everything in at the end of the day. And, you know, it was just this cycle of going to bed too late, trying to get sleep in the morning, just being tired all the time. So recently, okay, so you can just do the math. So recently, as in a few months ago, or a couple of months ago, really, I said to myself, you know, this isn't working. Me trying to do stuff at night. I'm spent. After I get them in the bed at 7:30, which is like, I'm religious about their bedtime. You can ask anyone that knows me, my friends, like, oh, where are your kids? They're in the bed. Okay. I don't know why your kids are still up at 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Mine aren't. That's my time. That's my husband's time. Y'all been up all day. Good night. Okay. And it's going to be that way for as long as it can be. Go to bed. They need their sleep and I need a break. So, but I was spent. I was tired, right? Because really, like, you know, I nursed my daughter to sleep. And so I'm tired. You know, you almost have to fall asleep to put them to sleep. So that wasn't the best part of my day to be trying to, you know, put on a new mindset and read the Bible and meditate and do all these things mentally when my gas tank was essentially on E, right? That's why I say eat some cookies, vegetate. That's the energy level that I have at the end of the day. So I made the decision, okay, I really need to start getting up early. I really need to do that. And that's not easy because I've never been a morning person, but I did it. And I've been doing it now for either it's over 2 months or just at 2 months, heading in, you know, into a little over 2 months, whatever. And I've been getting up every day in the 5 o'clock hour. I do a 20-minute workout, and then I sit, I look out the window at the mountains. I do my morning routine, reading the Bible, praying, writing out my goals for the day, all those things to really get centered and grounded, which then allows me to go and be the type of mother that I want to be for my children, to show up fully instead of rolling out of bed, half sleep and, all over the place, whatever. And it's like I was able to take that time and pull myself together for me. And it also helps me to show up better as a business owner, because then I'm like able to check messages, emails, whatever during that time in the morning that I've set aside for me, instead of trying to, figure it out in between snacks and meals or whatever, or games. That was a decision that I made to commit to putting myself first. Is it easy to get up in the 5 o'clock hour? No. I hit my snooze button a few times. I said in the 5 o'clock hour. I didn't say at 5 o'clock. That's what time the alarm goes off. But you're going to hit that snooze button a few times. So make sure you give yourself a grace period. So that's when I set my alarm for. So within that hour, I'm getting up. And it wasn't easy, like I said, but I was committed to the outcome, which is that I want to get up and be working out every day so my body can be like, hey, eventually. And so that my mind can be right for the day and for everything that I'm trying to do, everything that I'm trying to be, all of this, right? And that was more valuable to me than spending an extra hour in bed. The outcome was more desirable to me than where I was at. The excuses I was making for being here. Well, I've got toddlers, I'm tired. And because that little circle, I could have stayed in that. I could still be telling myself that story. I could still be committed to that story. Like I said, the newborn phase, those 5-6 months, give yourself that grace period. Get out of my face. Don't do nothing. I'm not talking about you if you're in that phase, okay? Because I get that. You need that time and space. But after that, when the fog starts clearing and you kind of start waking up and things kind of start to get into a better rhythm and flow and things like that. And especially, like I said, I had 2 little ones. So it took about 4 or 5 months before there was a rhythm and a flow with managing 2. But the point is, I could have stayed stuck in that story that's my excuse or reason as to why I can't get up, as to why I can't work out, as to why I don't have energy, as to why whatever. And I said, no, that's just what I want to tell myself so I can continue to stay in the bed. And in the meantime, while I'm staying in bed, I'm missing out on valuable time that could be used more wisely. And if I want to get that extra hour back, I can go to bed an hour earlier. It's that simple. The kids are in bed. I'm not just up watching TV doing nothing. Go to bed. Okay? So my point is I was getting up early is not something that I'm like, hey, no. But I was committed to the outcome. I wanted to be regular at working out. I wanted to have a daily mindset routine in the mornings that set the tone for my day. And so that was more important to me. And so because I'm committed to that, the actions, the beliefs, and the mindset that I need to have to get that outcome, I'm committed to it. I made a decision, and that was it. There's no waffling or negotiating about getting out of bed. I'm getting up. Even if I have to hit the snooze button, 4 times, whatever. I'm still getting up, and I'm still going to do what I have committed to because I'm committed to the outcome. Okay? So that's just an example of how you can be committed to something that's keeping you stuck in a place where you don't want to be, and you want something more or better, but you're not really committed to that outcome. You're committed to just staying right here. But I just explained to you how I was able to make that shift. And that's all you have to do is really think about what's the outcome going to be? What are the results going to be? And commit to this. And then whatever you have to do to get there, it's a non-starter. Okay? So that's really how you make it desirable. Because remember, I used the example at the opening of, me and my, relationship with sugar, and, our friendship that goes back so far. That sugar is desirable. Like I said, it doesn't take anything to me to commit to a cookie or a muffin that's gluten-free and egg-free. Okay? So, but to get up early in the morning, that's not desirable. I would rather be sleeping. But more than sleeping, I would rather be this person. I would rather be my future self, the future version of me, the $1 million version of me who gets up early in the morning and does these things, sets the tone for her day, and makes herself a priority so that she can show up in every relationship and activity at 110%. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? Okay. So commitment means being loyal to something. And so what are you loyal to? What stories are you committed to? What habits are you committed to? What behaviors are you in a relationship with? They're not all only bad or good. Some are either or, right? It's just a preference or a choice. But when you think about what you are committed to, commitment, okay? Because we are all, and please don't get it twisted. There is no such thing as no commitment. You are committed to something. Even if it's to do nothing, you're committed to that. So commitment is a beautiful thing when we are loyal to that which is good for us, to that which allows us to become and live as the absolute best version of ourselves. And when we decide that we want an outcome, or when we decide that we are committed to a result, then the actions, behaviors, and investments that we have to make to achieve it are neither here nor there, because we are committed to the result. We are committed to the outcome. So that's the thought I really just wanted to share with you today, is to really take some time to think about, what am I committed to? And what is my commitment level? Do I say what do I do what I say I'm going to do? Hey, Sonia, thanks for watching. Because if you say you're going to do something and then you don't, well, then now that's a different video. But commitment means being loyal, doing what you say you're going to do, sticking with it until you get the desired outcome or result. I know for me, I have the absolute pleasure and privilege of working with some of the most committed women I have ever seen, who are committed to getting a result, who are committed to having a better outcome in their lives, and they are willing to take the actions, okay? They are willing to make the mindset shifts, and they are willing to invest their money, their time, and their energy in order to get that result. And because they are committed, because they believe in commitment, they're easy to coach, and they always get a result. Always. Because when you are committed to something, you're going to get a result. Just like I'm committed to sugar, and I found those gluten-free, vegan, egg-free options, right? I was committed to working out and doing my mindset routine, and I'm doing it right now. Even if I'm getting out at 5:52, it's still in the 5 o'clock hour, okay? I'm committed to that. And so you can be committed to whatever it is that you want to be committed to. You just have to make the outcome or the result more desirable than what it's going to take for you to get there. Okay? So I hope that made sense. And I hope that you got some value out of watching this. I would love to hear your thoughts on commitment. And I'm not even going to go down the road of commitment in relationships. That's a whole nother, probably a 3-part video. But anyway, I want to thank you for tuning in if you're watching live, or if you're even just watching the replay, or if you're taking a look at this on my YouTube channel. Like I said, please comment, let me know you were here. And if you have any questions or thoughts that you don't want to share publicly, you are more than welcome to send me a message. And I will look forward to seeing you next time.